these are my princess dolls. Okay, so you can leave again. I'll do a great job.
Okay.
So, this is her. This is Sleepy Beauty. So let me dress her up. Okay, right now in her traveling clothes. These are her travel clothes. I just used her. Now we're going to talk about fancy clothes. There we go. This is pretty cool because every single fancy top has glitter, including this one that she's just wearing. When did you turn off the camera?
I turned off the camera because if not, you were gonna be here for like 1,000 hours showing them you dressing up the little dolls.
Well, I really want this to be like a long video.
You want it to be a long video?
Yeah.
What's your favorite thing about being 5 years old?
Is that I get to do whatever I want.
What?
I do whatever I
You don't get to do whatever you want, you fool. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to Riley's 5-year update. So I wanted to, like similar to how I did an update for Jackson, I wanted to just kind of do a little recap on Riley, on how she's doing. I'm gonna be inserting some clips here and there that I was filming earlier today of Riley, so that way you guys can just, you know, I mean, I'm sure if you guys watch the vlogs, you guys kind of know, like, you know, how Riley talks and things that she's up to. But if you happen to be new here, or if it's been a while since you come back to the channel, you can kind of see her in action and see her, you know, speaking and showing you guys things. She's over in the kitchen with Jackson, and God only knows what they are doing. They were like fighting over honey earlier. So I don't know, you're probably gonna hear screeches, but I have the same little paper that I showed you guys for Jackson. So I wanted to go over her stats. We'll talk about, I don't know, like her sleeping, her eating, like kind of like the same things. And then like what she's learning in homeschool maybe, in case you guys also have a kiddo who's around 5, you can kind of have an idea of the things that she's doing. And hopefully it is helpful in some way. So really quick, we'll do her stats. For her height, she was 41.5 inches, which puts her in the 45th percentile for height. And then in terms of weight, she was 37 pounds. And then that puts her at the 50th percentile for weight. So Riley's a very average, right in the middle kind of child, and I'm very happy with those stats. She definitely hasn't given me as like much of a hard time as Jackson does. You know, Jackson being that his height is like in the 3rd percentile. She's right in the middle. So 45th percentile and then 50th percentile for weight. Her doctor's happy with that. Her doctor again shows that she's like in her little growth curve, and she's happy with that, which means that I am also happy with those numbers. In the past year, Riley has really grown a ton. Like, she's gotten so much taller, and it's been like that point where you can really see like a lot of like that baby weight and like, you know, like the baby face like transform into like a little kid face. And it's so funny because like so many times when I share like pictures of her, videos of her on Instagram and stuff, I'll get messages going like, why does she look like a teenager now? And it's so true. Like, she's only 5, but she looks like a little adult, and it makes me so sad. It breaks my heart because I just still think of her as like this little 2-year-old kid running around. And when I look back like on pictures from my phone, it's like really such a big difference in like the last 3 years of her life and how quickly she's grown. And then it's funny because you pair like how quickly she's grown with like the things that she says and like the way that she talks to you, and like I'm like, where did my child go? Like, why are you a little teenager for real? Like, the attitude is there. I really feel like I'm talking to a 12-year-old sometimes, and it's insane. So just know that if you're on the same boat, like you have a 5-year-old going on like 12, like the struggle is real. What exactly is going on here?
Well, we're looking for more.
We're looking for worms, and you're stepping in muddy puddles.
See if there's any worms in here.
Do you think we're gonna find any?
Nope. I don't think so.
Do you want to give me your baby so you can better explore?
Yep.
Here, I'll hold your baby.
Take care of her. Don't drop her.
Don't drop her? Yeah. Is there anything else I should know about taking care of your baby?
You should like do put her on hard stuff. Do I dare worms?
Don't put her on hard stuff to lay on? Yeah. Well, what does that mean? How do I take care of a baby?
You like do whatever you do when I was a baby.
Really? All right, here you go, child. So the other big thing that they did at the doctor, because like the doctor really wasn't that eventful. She had a couple of shots that she had to get, which she wasn't thrilled about, but she handled them pretty well. And those were just like the regular scheduled shots. I didn't do the flu shot with her either, but she had a couple other ones like the chicken pox and polio or like whatever. Some of like the regular scheduled ones that she did get. She did get a little bit of a bump on her leg with one of them, but it went away. It seems like it's going away. Hey, what are you eating?
Honey.
Honey? Is it delicious?
Yep.
Okay, please don't get it all over the couch, okay?
Okay.
That'd be great. But besides that, the other thing that they did was they did an eye exam, which they've always done an eye exam for her with that little machine that I was telling you guys about that they used for Jackson. But since Riley's old enough now where I guess she can recognize letters and things, they did the just regular eye chart, like, you know, like if you've ever been to the eye doctor and they show you a bunch of letters, that little chart, and then you go down the rows seeing how many letters you can pick up on. That's what they did for her. She did well with the letters that were like pretty big, but then it got to a point where she was like, I don't know, is that a P, is that an F? Like, you know, you could tell that the lower that we got on the chart, she was starting to struggle a bit. So at the end of the exam, they told me that she has 20/40 vision. And then I was like, okay, do I have to be super concerned about that? I started panicking because like she definitely does a lot of screen time. So I'm like, is it the screen time? But the nurse did tell me that their eyes are still developing until they're about 7. So she still has a couple years. Like those eye muscles haven't fully formed or aren't like at their full peak development or whatever. So they're not going to be too concerned about her vision until she's 7. And then I didn't even realize, like I never used glasses as a kid. I needed them once I got older, once I was an adult. But Joe, so her dad, did use glasses as a kid. I think he told me that he was like early middle school when he started using glasses.
Thirsty.
Okay, you can go get water. So I don't know how much of eyesight and vision is genetic. I don't know how much of it is affected by screens. Like for sure, like all of our kids' eyesights are gonna be terrible by the time they're our age because of the use of screens and phones and stuff. I'm not naive to that. I'm not ignorant to that. And I know that it plays a part, but I guess in my mind, I'm kind of like, how much is it, you know, genetics and how much is it screen time? So again, like I've always told you, we do screen time. We try to limit the actual iPad tablet usage to about an hour a day. So I'll talk to you guys about that when I get into like her napping or quiet times. She doesn't nap anymore. But that was something different that they did at this doctor's appointment. So just an FYI, maybe if you have also a 5-year-old, they will do something like that. So I'm just gonna like stick to this little checklist because it's gonna help me like stay on track. So in terms of her eating, Riley has been always very picky, but this year she did a lot better. Riley's at this point way less picky than Jackson. She will eat chicken nuggets, she will eat pizza, she will eat macaroni, she will eat peanut butter sandwiches, she will eat all kinds of fruit. For vegetables, both of the kids will have carrots, like just raw carrots. Sometimes they'll dip them in ranch, sometimes they won't, but I can get them to have carrots and I can get them to eat peas. So I think she's doing fine with her eating. You know, obviously I wish that we'd get a little bit more adventurous, but compared to where we were a couple years ago, she has definitely improved like a ton. You know, she does love her sweets. She has a sweet tooth. That's no surprise because I have a huge sweet tooth, but we have to kind of watch how much sugar we have. But like so random right now, literally in this bowl, she's eating honey. Like, you know, she won't eat some things that are like super delicious and you'd think that she'd like, but she's eating raw honey and she's loving it. Riley is also potty trained, so nothing really new to report. She's potty trained for daytime, for nighttime. We haven't really had any accidents. When we go on those 14-hour car rides back to Miami, back home to visit family, she does super well. When she feels that she needs to go, she tells us, hey, I need to use a potty. She gives us enough notice and we're able to go to a rest stop and pull over and get her to the bathroom. So
no, one time I really needed to use the potty.
Yeah, one time you really needed to go. So she's mastered that. We are very happy with that. And then for sleeping, she does really well sleeping through the night. Right now, like I shared in Jackson's update, they are both sharing Riley's full-size bed. And that's really more so for Jackson's sake, so Jackson feels like he has a buddy and he's not scared. But Riley has at least allowed him to be in her bed. Riley, how has it been having Jackson in your bed? Can you tell me a little bit closer so that they can hear you? How has it been having Jackson?
Medium.
Medium?
Yeah, because he's been like kicking a little bit.
A little bit?
Yeah, and he's been sleeping weird, like sideways out of my bed.
He sleeps sideways?
Sometimes he like even sleeps like
Like which
this.
way?
like this. He like kind of like gets off of his covers and kind of like rolls somewhere that he's not supposed to roll.
Well, I'm sorry that he's kicked you a little bit, okay?
Yeah.
If he starts to kick you, just, you know, like shove him a little bit, okay? But you're a good big sister helping him sleep. I really appreciate it.
In the morning, I try waking him up so he can talk.
Oh, you have to wake him up so that you can talk?
Instead of going to Mama's room, but he doesn't listen.
Well, why don't you just let him sleep? Well, thank you for being a good friend to him, okay? Okay, so that's nighttime sleep. She will normally sleep from like around 8:30, sometimes 9 o'clock till the morning time, which is around 7:30 or 8 in the morning. So we get a full night's sleep, and she will often like get up in the middle of the night and go to the bathroom because we'll hear her run, you know, to the bathroom. So it's not like we have a situation where the doors are locked or anything. We do have a gate at the top of the stairs, so I know that if she gets out of her bed, like she's not gonna come downstairs and roam the house. But she does have access to the bathroom. But as good as she sleeps for nighttime, she doesn't do any more naps. So it's very rare that she does a nap. She has to be absolutely dead tired to take a nap, or we have to be driving around in the car around nap time. So she will like sometimes like fall asleep in the car. I mean, it's actually a lot that she falls asleep in the car. Like if we put her in the car seat and we go to church, usually we can look back and she is dead asleep. So she likes to sleep in the car. But if we are home, if it's a day where we are at home and we're just like hanging out, she's not gonna go and fall asleep in her room. So that ended a while ago. I can't even remember like when she stopped taking her afternoon nap. But we implemented quiet time for her. So quiet time for her means that she gets her iPad. That's like the one time of the day that she gets her iPad, and she takes it. Usually it used to be she'd take it to her room. Now she takes it to my room since Jackson is using her room for nap time. But she has an hour, maybe sometimes an hour and a half, depending on how long Jackson naps, where she gets her iPad, she plays her games, she watches some shows. So I'm going to be filming, I think one of the next videos that I film is going to be a what's on my child's iPad video. So I'm going to walk you guys through what I have on Jackson's iPad. And while I do the video? Yeah. We'll see. So I'll show you what's on Jackson's iPad and Riley's iPad, and hopefully that'll give you some ideas. I'm pretty particular about what I have on her iPad because since she sees it, like since she's on her iPad during quiet time, and I'm not like hovering over her watching it, like I don't want her to have access to absolutely everything if I'm not watching what she's watching. So, you know, we've definitely made changes to what is available to her on her iPad, but I'll talk to you guys about that in that video. So that's sleeping. This little checklist here talks about children's development. So I don't know, this little checklist says development by 5 years. Most kids can talk to another person and have more than 3 back and forth exchanges, which Riley obviously can do. Hey,
what?
What's going on over here now?
I just cleaned my ladybug.
You cleaned your ladybug?
Yep, now it's clean.
Let me see. Very good. This is a fake ladybug, by the way. And is Jackson doing a good job?
Yep.
Are you guys getting along nicely?
Yep. I let him work with that little sponge because it's easier to take off the things with. Like with your hands it does it, but with like this it does.
Okay, so you let him use like a little scrubber?
Yeah, and I used it too.
Because it's easier?
Yep.
Good thinking. Hey, I think I left your baby outside.
Get her right now!
Should I get her?
Yeah.
I think I was a bad grandma.
You were a bad mom instead.
That's not my child. You are my child. That's my grandchild. So you left me with her.
Yeah, but why did you left her outside?
Because I forgot about her.
Just get her.
Tell a story with at least 2 events. Answer simple questions about a book or a story after being read to or told. Follow rules and take turns when playing games. Do simple chores. So talking about chores, I feel like we've gotten to a point where my children can actually be somewhat helpful. So Riley has been helping me with chores lately. Like today, we made a mess on the kitchen table because we did homeschool. We did like some crafts and stuff. And Riley cleaned up the whole table for me, like on her own. She wiped it down, like she used the all-purpose cleaner. She used some paper towels, wiped down the table. So like she can actually be helpful. So I'm trying
Then
whenever.
I can even wash the dishes.
Yeah, and you can wash the dishes. I'm trying to teach her, and like in the moment it kind of takes a little bit longer, but I'm trying to teach her things like loading the dishwasher, because like she had taken out a million different bowls for the activity that we were doing, and instead of me just quickly like putting them all in the sink, I showed her how to take them, dump the water, and then put them in the dishwasher. So I'm looking for moments like that where I can teach her. Like I taught her how to use a TV remote the other day because I was like tired of her saying, I want to put the next thing, I want to put the next thing. And then like I'm on the other side of the house doing something and I have to stop what I'm doing. So I taught her how to use a remote, and now she can pick her shows.
All by myself.
All by yourself. So things like that. I'm looking for opportunities to teach her things, and obviously so that it's helpful to us. So yeah, that has been fun. And then the next thing on the list says that children can count to 10. Riley can count way past 10. Identify
I can count
some.
to 100.
Yes, you can. Identify some letters and numbers, which she can. I'll talk about like some of the things we're working on in homeschool in a second. But write some letters of their name, which Riley writes her whole name on her own. Hop on one foot, button some buttons. So those are just some things there that this random sheet of paper from
I know
Kids
how to
Health.
button buttons.
Huh? You know how to button buttons?
Yeah, I know how to like put them on.
Okay, very good.
And I can't hop on a foot for like 10.
You can do it for a little bit, but you need to work on your coordination. Okay.
Ow.
So yeah, everything else on this sheet is like, I don't know, just like very basic stuff. But she's doing great. We love the fact that we are homeschooling this year. We started homeschool last year, but this year was like the first like full on, like a little bit more hardcore, even though like my homeschool is not hardcore at all. It is very unstructured. But she's doing a pre-K4 curriculum. I have videos on the curriculum we use. I have videos showing you what a typical day looks like. So I'll try to leave some of our homeschool videos down below in case you guys want to check those out. But she's home with me all day long, and I love it. I love that I get to teach her. And then for those of you that are like, how does she socialize with kids? Like she's not interacting with kids. She does interact with kids quite a lot. So number one, she has her siblings. She has her brother that she's talking to all day long, and she's talking to me all day long. She FaceTimes Mimi all day long. So she's getting a lot of conversation, and like she's got plenty of interaction, even just us being home. But on top of that, we joined a once a week co-op with other homeschool families with kids her age, and we meet once a week. So we go to somebody's house. The kids get to play, like they get free play where they get to play with toys and just interact. Sometimes they go outside. They do play together, and then there's other parts of the session where they're sitting around a table. There's an instructor, there's a teacher, they're doing a craft together, they're learning about a letter, they're reading a book. So they have like the classroom setting kind of thing for like 30 minutes, and then they usually get to go play for the rest of the time. So that's once a week. And then on top of that, I've told you guys that I joined that moms group earlier, like last year. That has been super helpful both to me and to my kids, because we have events as a club. At the very least, I'm going to one event a week. So we've got the homeschool co-op once a week, and then we've got mom's club at least once a week. Sometimes it's more than that. And it's either meeting up at the library or meeting up at a mom's house, meeting up at a park when it's nice out. I have a mom friend that lives super close, and every once in a while she'll invite me over and the kids hang out. She has like 2 boys that she looks after that are about Riley's age, and she looks after them like once a week. And then she's got her daughter, so like they all play super well. So they've definitely interacted a bunch. And then the moms club has organized like a lot of really fun play dates where like they did like a tour of like the fire station, like the local fire station, and the kids got to go see that. So it's kind of like a field trip. So we did that. They did a farm tour, which we had to miss because the kids were sick, but they do events like that. We went to this past week a tour of like the local urgent care, and like it was called like a teddy bear clinic. So all the kids brought either like a stuffed animal or a baby doll, and they got to like take care of, you know, their little stuffed animals or whatever. So I feel like that has helped Riley a lot in terms of just like learning how to interact with others. She loves it. She loves to be around other kids. But it's been really fun to see like how much progress she's made in going to a lot of these play groups and play dates. When we first started going, it was like meltdown central. That's kind of like where Jackson's at right now, where it was really hard with the sharing and, you know, this child wants my toy and is taking my toy. Now Riley has gotten a lot better about that, and there's not as many meltdowns. There were a lot of meltdowns when we'd have to leave for a bit, and we had to like walk through the process of like, okay, we're gonna go have fun, but then at some point we have to leave. And there were a lot of times that she just, you know, would break down crying, and she was just pissed off that she had to leave. So we had to kind of work through that. Now she's gotten a lot better at that. We used like a little sticker chart, like a rewards chart. She did really well with like positive reinforcement. Like when she had a day where she didn't give me a hard time and she left, you know, perfectly fine, tantrum free, she would get a star. And then when she got like 10 stars, we'd go to Target and pick out a toy. So maybe that method doesn't work for every child, but it definitely worked for her. And that's really all I've been trying to do in terms of my parenting with her, and really like with both of my kids. Like, what's gonna work well for them? I still don't know what I'm doing. I'm still just winging it. I'm still doing my very best. But the whole like, you know, tantrums and meltdowns and discipline, it's been a struggle because these kids are very strong-willed, and you're kind of like, how do I get you to listen to me? Like, how do I get you to do the things that I'm asking you to do? I've never pretended that I am some kind of expert, because I am not. I can just tell you what has worked for my kid. So I'm trying to think of what else I can tell you about Riley. I mean, a lot of it.
Wrong.
Oh, she got you some water? That was very nice of her.
Mama, do the water.
Oh, you did it?
And Riley did the ice.
And Riley did the ice, good. Riley still very much loves her books. She can't read yet, but she loves looking through books, and she loves for me to read books to her. She loves anything facts related, so we'll watch a lot of like Animal Planet kind of shows where they're talking about something having to do with whatever we're learning about in science, you know, whether that's tide pools or fish or, you know, insects. She loves all of that, and so she learns through some of the videos that she watches. So this is one of Riley's favorite books that we like to read in homeschool, The Big Book of Blue. So Riley wanted to tell you some facts about these animals.
So, fishes are done.
Do you think that's super funny?
Sharks, yes. Let me show you some facts that I know. Sharks have really powerful teeth. Ow. And they can only slice off your finger for a reason. Then they have lots of powerful mouth. And then they have really powerful eyes. And a really powerful nose. And they can smell their food. See their food. And they can also taste their food. See? About the big book of shark books. That's all that I know for sharks. Let's go back. Tiny plankton right over here. See that? You can't even see it because it's so tiny. It's this tiny already.
You're doing a good job showing them some stuff?
Yep.
What is that?
It's krill.
Krill? What is krill?
Krill is plankton.
A kind of plankton? But who eats krill?
Krill's the end.
But then we also do a lot of like hands-on, like playing outside, and she likes to go look for bugs, and you know, she likes to go look for her worms. What are you particularly looking for?
I'm looking for worms, but if we don't find any, I can find a different animal.
Like what?
Like a ladybug, a roly-poly.
What are your favorite outdoor creatures?
A worm, possibly. Little girl. I like this worm. It's so cute.
She helped me a ton this year when we did our garden. So she loved to help me with like the planting seeds, and I think that was a really good learning you know, experience for her. So sorry, I think I veered off and I forgot to tell you the things that we're covering in homeschool. So the whole homeschool thing we love, and it's really like not even an hour a day that we do. We do very little like sit down work. But things that she is learning now in pre-K 4 as a 5-year-old, because Riley's birthday is in December. So she's kind of at that point where she's doing a pre-K curriculum, but you know, she could in theory do some kindergarten work. We kind of do like a little mix of both, but she obviously knows her colors, her letters. She knows now like the sounds that all of the letters make. So because she knows how to sound out letters, we are working with her like on sight words, and we're teaching her how to blend sounds so that we can start the whole like learning to read process. I think she's gonna do really well with learning how to read. You know, she picks up things really quickly. So as soon as we finish the curriculum we're doing, I'm gonna like set aside maybe this summer like some focused time to like, I think there's a book called Teach Your Child to Read in like 30 Easy Lessons or something. I'll try to link it down below because I've heard really good things about it. But I think that that's the book that I'm gonna buy to really do some focused learning how to read work. But she is blending sounds and she is, you know, picking up on some sight words. So I'm not too concerned about it. She's also doing like intro math. Like she started now doing like, you know, 2 + 1 = 3 and 3 + 1 = 4. So some basic math stuff. The other thing I taught her how to do recently was how to look at a clock, and she can now tell the time by the hour. We're not yet where she can say like, you know, it's 3:30 or 3:15, but she can tell you it's 3 o'clock, it's 4 o'clock, it's 5 o'clock. So that was like a new concept that she's mastered. Hey, tell me, what is your favorite kind of schoolwork to do? What do you like to learn about?
Coloring!
You like coloring, but what else do you like to learn about?
Yeah. Coloring?
Okay, but besides coloring, what do you like to learn about?
Coloring.
Okay, you're a stinker. Is that really funny? Is your response really funny? Wow, you're such a clown. So do you like math more, or learning how to read, or science?
Science.
You like science? Why do you like science so much?
Because you get to do like experiments that like you never saw before.
What's your favorite experiment that you've done?
Well, you know, my favorite experiment that I have done is those like when you like they blow up, like you mix you rise, the bubbles rise, or the
Like baking soda
yeah,
and vinegar.
yeah. But we're gonna do that again with a volcano instead.
Really?
Yeah, we're gonna do that when Daddy gets home. Actually,
I've gotten a lot of questions about whether or not I'm gonna teach her Spanish, because if you guys happen to be new, I'm Cuban. I grew up in Miami. So I actually, when I was a baby, like my first language was Spanish. Both of my parents are fluent in both Spanish and English. My grandparents are both, you know, fluent in Spanish and they speak English. I'm kind of the one that like, I understand a lot of Spanish, but I don't speak it super fluently. But then also my husband like doesn't speak any Spanish. He's super non-Spanish speaking, born and raised in Alabama. So it's hard because we don't speak to each other Spanish, you know, in the home. But we do a bit of Spanglish. Like when Riley was a baby, we taught her that water is agua. We still call milk leche. Like there's certain words that we'll speak in Spanish, but I do want to make more of an effort to teach her some Spanish. So we have like a girlfriend, like one of my girlfriends in Miami, she has twin boys and they only speak to her boys like in Spanish. So when the kids get together, it's like my kids don't understand them, they don't understand them, but I would love for them to like maybe be around each other more so that my kids will maybe pick up on some more Spanish. All in all, I think it's great to be able to have children who understand a second language. And I think that there's still time that I can teach them. So like I taught Riley the colors in Spanish. Riley, what is red in Spanish?
loco.
What is yellow in Spanish?
Aramillo.
What's blue in Spanish?
Azul.
And what is green in Spanish?
Verde.
Verde. And what is black in Spanish?
Blanco.
No, that's white.
I know why.
And what is black in Spanish?
I don't know.
Negro.
Negro.
So yeah, like I taught her the colors, but I want to focus on more words. So I have in my Amazon cart a like preschool Spanish workbook that I may buy. It's like $10, and just spend some more focused time on that. I think that would be good for them and also for me to refresh and have a better vocabulary in Spanish. But with the curriculum that I'm doing with her, like obviously there's no Spanish in it. But it's mostly focused on like phonics, and there is a lot of emphasis on learning passages from the Bible. So like the curriculum that we use is Christian based. And I love that because at 5, like Riley has such a better understanding of like Bible stories and can tell me things that we've studied about just God and her faith. Like I didn't know that at 5. So it's just really funny that you might think that your kids can't pick up on concepts like that, but it's never too early to start teaching them about God and bringing out the Bible and reading it, whether it's a children's Bible, a Jesus storybook Bible, something like that, or the actual Bible. I think they're both good. She watches a lot of VeggieTale shows, and they also communicate a lot of those same Bible stories, and those are super good. So we're actually reading right now, we're reading one, like a book for bedtime. Like we're reading one that's called like 5-minute Bible stories. Have you been liking that? What have we been learning about? Can you remember anything?
We have been learning about baby Jesus, how he was born in a manger. I know that. Well, I know the Prince of Egypt now.
Yeah, we were watching the Prince of Egypt. Come here and tell them about the Prince of Egypt. Who is the Prince of Egypt?
Moses.
Moses. And what do you know about Moses?
Moses, well, there's a funny part in this movie that is like he runs away and he's like in the desert. There's a big sandstorm, and then a couple moments later, what's just sticking out of the sand is his head.
Because he gets covered by the sand?
Yeah, and then like the camel thinks that's like grass.
He thinks that his hair is grass. What does Moses see that's like on fire? What is it that he sees?
The burning bush.
And who's the burning bush?
God, I didn't know God turned into a bush.
So yeah, it's been really fun and cool just to see her like retain a lot of that information. And then, you know, we watch it in different forms. Like we'll watch videos, but then we'll read the stories like in the actual like storybook Bible, and then she can remember like, oh, I saw a video on that, and you know, it's the same thing, and we talk about it a lot, and we take them to church every week. So I've loved that. I've loved teaching the kids about our faith, and I think that that's gonna be a really good foundation for them. But yeah, 5 is a fun age. I have really enjoyed it, but I mean, like the tantrums are there, the attitude is there, the I want to do what I want to do, and I have zero respect for authority. That's been a challenge. So like I said, I'm doing the best that I can. I wish I had more advice for you guys. But on the flip side, like most parents that I've talked to that have kids around this age will tell me the same thing. You know, you've got strong-willed kids. They want to do what they want. When they don't get what they want, they usually are upset about it. They have a lot of big feelings. So I don't think it's something that's like super uncommon. It's just like we've got to figure out how to, you know, like get that under control, or how to I don't even know. But I love that this is just an age where you can do so much with your kids, and you know, we can do a lot of crafts and activities and a lot of hands-on projects that I love to do. I think she does really well learning in that way, which we do a ton of. Why don't we tell them a little bit about, well, first, what happened to your face there on your cheek?
I fell on dirt.
You fell into a pot of dirt, literally, in the garden.
Yeah, but
you fell on the stairs.
Yeah, it looks like I got a little bit of like, it looks like it hurted the first time, but now it doesn't hurt anymore.
No. Okay, well, you want to tell them a little bit about your day, or like about the things that you like doing?
Yeah, you can go. You can, like,
you want me to leave?
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
just watch Jackson. I don't want him to get into any trouble.
Oh, okay. Well, you go talk to them. She loves to go to the library. When we go to the library, we leave there with at least like 40 freaking books. And it's been just fun to teach the kids like life skills. Like when we go to the library, Riley will not only pick out her books, but she'll also like put them through the scanner when we check them out. So she does all like the checkout. And then when we're home, she does a lot of learning, like real life skills, just through like following me like around throughout the day. Like we do a lot of baking together. And that's a skill that I'm glad that I'm teaching her, because like nobody taught me that when I was her age. Like, again, I love my mom. Mimi did a great job, but she definitely didn't teach me how to cook. And we weren't like baking all the time. So I'm hoping that's a skill that I can teach her. I know that this video is all over the place at this point, but I'm just trying to remember like all the things that I can kind of share with you. I will say one of the biggest challenges with Riley at this point has been like the fighting with her brother. Like the fighting with Jackson is just off the chain. It's like all day nonstop bickering. And again, I'm sure a lot of this is just normal, but the bickering, if she knows that Jackson wants something, she wants to go and get it just to make him mad or just to have it so that he doesn't have it. And you can't play with my toy, and I want your toy. Like, it is like no one prepared me for that. The amount of fighting that goes on in my house. So if you're also, again, on the struggle bus in terms of fighting, you are not alone. What we do, like there are times that I have to literally separate them. I'm just like, you're not allowed in that room. You're not allowed in that room. You stay here, you stay there, or one of you goes upstairs, because I literally cannot have you in the same place or I'm gonna lose my freaking mind. Like there are days like that. But in the same respect, like as much as they can fight like cats and dogs all day long, they can also be super sweet together. And I'm loving to watch them, like in the few rare moments where they're not fighting, they're so sweet together and they're like this little like buddy team, and it is just the cutest thing ever. So I'm not saying that I regret having more than one kid. I think it's the greatest blessing in the world. But it is rough. It is rough because now you have two kids that are like constantly competing and at each other's throats. So just, yeah, that's all I can say about that. So yeah, that's pretty much everything that I'm gonna talk about today, because I mean, otherwise this video is gonna be super long. But if there's anything that I forgot, anything that you're curious about, anything that you want me to cover, let me know in the comments and I'll do my best to get back to you on those things. But a lot of this stuff I share in our vlogs, I share in just like our daily videos over here. So if you are new, I'd love it if you'd stick around, be my friend. I am not an expert in anything. I just share my life with you, and you can take it with a grain of salt, and you can feel less alone, and you can just be my online friend, and hopefully that helps you in some way. But I love you guys, and I'm so happy that you are here. So thank you for watching this video. I love your freaking faces. Make sure to give this video a big thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you're new, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye guys.